Blackbeard is making major moves right now, both on screen and off screen, and we need to talk about it. So Blackbeard is doing 4 crucial things that we have seen on screen and some that are off screen that we need to talk about. The first is him gathering more devil fruits and actually going for warlords like Boa Hancock and trying to increase his crew's devil fruit capabilities and power. Unfortunately, with Amazon Lily, he was unsuccessful in getting Boa Hancock's fruit, but he was able to get Captain Kobe, and with that he has a sacrificial pawn or a bargaining tool he could use against the world government to get immunity or something of great value that he can use for the final war coming up. Second thing we see Blackbeard doing is he's engaging in a fight with Law. And to be honest, when I saw this fight first, I didn't think it was anything more than, hey, I want to take your poneglyphs and maybe I'll take your fruit. Like typical pirate things, but I forgot that Law can give someone immortality. And Blackbeard seems like the villain who wants to be greater than rocks, who wants to be greater than everybody and kind of rule the world forever. I feel like that's his endgame. So if he captures Law, he could force Law to give him immortality, and I feel like that's where the endgame of the story is going. And if Blackbeard is immortal, that is a very scary thought, because he is already probably the strongest person in the verse right now with the 2 devil fruits. And if he can't be killed by, say, Shanks or the other emperors, then there's really no way to stop Blackbeard. He's already in contender for top 5 of the verse, but with immortality, he is the strongest hands down. And in the cover pages, we see for 1064, we see Aokiji and Van Arger have captured Pudding. And in the chapter covers before then, we see that Big Mom's territory has been invaded and Katakuri and Oven were tricked into fighting each other. So during that confusion, they were able to kidnap Pudding. And why is Pudding so important? I forgot that she is part of the Third Eye tribe, and when the Third Eye fully awakens, they can read poneglyphs. Right now, the only person that we know of who can read poneglyphs is Robin, and that's why she's highly sought after. Blackbeard can get his own Robin, then he can find the poneglyphs and make his way to Raftel. Right now, the only pirate group that can actually get to Raftel is the Strawhats, because they have Robin who can read the poneglyphs, and then they can map out how to get to Raftel from that. This last point I'm about to make, the 4th point that Blackbeard is operating on, is under speculation. It might not be true, but I feel like, if anything, it is probably the most accurate theory about what happened. But the disappearance of Vegapunk, we were all wondering, how did he disappear? Well, if you think about it, there is one person on Blackbeard's crew that can actually disappear at will, and that's Shiru of the Rain. He has the invisibility fruit. And already Blackbeard's crew is already operating on their own. They have split up into their own groups and have traveling around the world getting the final pieces. So what makes you think that Shiru's not already on Egghead Island? And if Vegapunk disappeared so easily, it would make sense that Shiru kidnapped Vegapunk and then disappeared. And to be fair, I'm not sure what kind of observation hockey you need to be able to sense an invisible man, but Shiru has been training with this fruit for a while, so he might be able to disappear from most people's normal observation. I feel like you'd have to be looking specifically for Shiru to be able to find him. So it would make more sense that Vegapunk actually disappeared, and that's the way he did with Shiru kidnapping him. So right now, Blackbeard has 4 things that he is doing that is making him one of the most dangerous villains that we've probably ever seen in One Piece. Very excited to see how Oda is going to spin this, because we're going to have the final war and Blackbeard is getting ready to be that final villain that Luffy needs to beat. It's already been set up that Blackbeard's going to be that guy from the whole story, but now he's making moves and getting pieces to assure himself that he is strong enough to take on anyone that comes near him. And right now he's got a lot of the pieces he needs to become King of the Pirates. But how is Oda going to set this up? So in my understanding and how I feel like this would go is they have to have the fight for the Pirate King and the One Piece before they go to the world government, right? So Luffy would have to essentially beat Blackbeard, become King of the Pirates, and as the freest man, go and fight Emu, and Emu being the final villain of One Piece. That would be really cool to see, and I think that would tie everything up very nicely. But what if Oda takes it in a completely different way? So we know Blackbeard is very unhinged. We don't really know what his end goal is. He does want to become Pirate King, but I feel like Blackbeard wants to be the ruler of everything. It would make so much sense because Luffy is the sun god Nika, who is the embodiment of freedom. So his rival and villain should be the embodiment of authority and oppression. from everything we've seen about Blackbeard is he's very greedy. Blackbeard killed for the Yami Yami no Mi. He killed for the Quake fruit. So now he is the only person to have 2 devil fruits, and now he's stealing devil fruits from other people and giving it to his crew. So Blackbeard's greed knows no bounds. So why would he stop at Pirate King when the government's standing in his way? I think it would be very interesting to see Blackbeard take out Emu before the final war and is the king of everything. He sits on that throne that Emu's only sitting on and essentially controls the world. So Luffy becomes Pirate King, becoming the freest person in the world, and Blackbeard and Luffy have to fight, but Luffy being the Pirate King and Blackbeard being the king of everything. I honestly think that'd be a very cool way to end the story, but I just don't see Blackbeard not chasing after the One Piece, unless he values becoming the king of everything and then having the resources, having the Marines under him, and then he's like, okay, now I can forcibly take this title from Luffy. Luffy might have had this for a little bit, but I can take it now, or we can have the final war for the Marines happen before we get to the final race for Raftel. Then we can have the final confrontation of Blackbeard versus Luffy, and whoever wins that battle can go to Raftel and claim the One Piece and be the king and the king of the pirates and king of the seas. And I think that would also be a very cool way to see the story end. But personally, in my opinion, I would love to see Emu get beat by Blackbeard and Luffy and Blackbeard fighting before they go find the One Piece, or Luffy finds the One Piece, he becomes the embodiment of freedom, and Blackbeard becomes the embodiment of oppression, and then they finally duke it out and settle who wins, Luffy or Blackbeard. But that's all I have for you guys today. What did you guys think about what Blackbeard's doing in the story? And what do you guys think about my theory about what could potentially happen at the end of the story? Do you guys like if Blackbeard's the final villain after Luffy becomes Pirate King, or do you want Blackbeard to fight Luffy before Pirate King, and then the winner of that will go to Mary Joie and take out Emu? Thank you guys so much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.